Welcome back to Listen, I Have an Idea. It is day 8 of November. Today I am out. It is late evening. It's 5 o'clock right now. I'm at Costco with my brother. Would you like to say hello?
No.
Okay. We're not going to show him because he doesn't want to be on camera. It is raining. I'm going to get wet as we go in there, but we have some preparation to do for tomorrow. So let's get started. Should have worn my other boots. Oh, huge puddle. Welcome to Costco. Oh, are these Squishmallows? Those are so cute. Little Star Wars ones for Liz. You can't tell me that Lizzie wouldn't love those though. Got a scarf in these colors. Oh, this is fleece. Got the big one. Is that a Harry Potter one? Okay. Mitchell, here you go. Sample is really good. It is butter chicken. Sample number 2 secured. Honey on 9. Right, this is what we are here for. English toffee cheesecake. They also have raspberry mini cakes. Shortcake. I was thinking that or the tuxedo cake.
Tuxedo cake.
The one at the chocolate one at the end.
Tiramisu.
I don't think she likes coffee though.
Strawberry shortcake or sex chocolate.
I know. I think the tuxedo cake you can't go wrong. Thanks. So we are here to get a balloon for our mother for her birthday. And it's her big 60th. Ah, here we go. There's lots of options. Look at them. How big do we want to go? As big as possible? Inconvenient.
Or this one.
I think we should do this one. That one looks quite a bit bigger though. But if we do this one, we can get like a couple smaller balloons to put on the side.
Or we can get a gold 6 and gold 0.
That's true. Do they have those ones? They're probably down here. So many options. Confetti. Oh, here's some more balloons. Yeah. Helium included. We could do that one. Helium's included with that one. 3. What do you think? Or should we get...
Are they attached or are they...
But they're all separate ones.
Oh, it's just like...
Yeah, it's like
bundle.
a bouquet.
Okay.
Yeah, or we get that one.
And
And then-
gold 6 and gold 0.
Yeah, or just a couple extra ones, like smaller ones. Make that be the top of the bouquet and then a couple smaller ones below. You don't want to overcrowd.
Yeah.
What about this card, Mitchell? Birthday girl, you're a force for good. It is much later. I am now home. Everything has been squared away for tomorrow. We have all the prep ready. And as you can see, we got some flowers over there that are going to be ready for tomorrow. They're just going to keep me company while I write today. Before we get into the writing, the final Taylor Swift vinyl arrived. So I figured just like the last 2 days, let's open this guy together. Had I known that they were all going to come one day after another, I probably should have just waited and open them all up. But here is the last one, the green vinyl. Dun, dun, dun. There she is, Miss Swift. We have the aquamarine. We have the yellow Sunrise Boulevard edition. We have the pink, where is it, Rose Garden edition, and of course the tangerine one, the exclusive. So there we go. All 4. They're all going to go on the shelf now, but there isn't any room on the shelf. I didn't even see. There's like no room. We have Hosier's album right here, which is open at the bifold. That's what you see. I don't know. Miss Swift, where are you going to go now? Put her up here. I think she'll be fine up there for now. What do you guys think? Back to writing what we are here for. It is 9:30 p.m. right now, and I gotta say, I am not in a mood at all to write. I don't really want to open up my story. I mean, it's already open in front of me, but I don't really want to continue. My brain is in a non-creative mode right now. Whereas I think if I were to try to write, the writing would be so bad that I would end up scrapping all of it anyways and just be frustrated at myself for trying to put words first. I'm going to take what I said yesterday to heart. My health, my mental state is more important than trying to put words on a page. That being said, I'm still going to try to challenge myself to write 1,600 words, but of something different, something story related, but not actual narrative, I think I'm going to go in and work on some notes for the book. Last year and many of the previous years, I've tried to challenge myself, so only the words that are part of the manuscript are the ones that I've counted for NaNoWriMo. Any planning words were not. Today, we're going to break that rule and we are going to write some planning words, some scenes that will not end up in the final book, but just words on a page so I can get that daily par badge and maybe get some inspiration for tomorrow or the following day for my writing. What am I going to write? I don't know. I'm probably going to sit here for a couple minutes and think of it, daydream about my story, and then come up with something. But we are going to push through those words, get them on the page, and see where things take us. So give me a minute. I'm going to figure out what exactly we're going to write, and then we'll get something down. I just spent the last half an hour going through the notes for the last chapters that I have yet to write, and I found a big plot hole, surprisingly. Apparently last year I went through and I had a brand new fresh idea for chapters 24 and 25. So I wrote them in, keeping the original plans underneath just so I could see the two differences. And the original plans were great. The new plans were even better, but the new plans created this plot loop that makes the ending not work 100%. The ending will still work. It won't have that satisfying happily ever after kiss in the moonlight, sunsets type moment. So that is what I'm going to work on right now. Reading it through actually brought back some of that creative spark, and I have a couple ideas. So I'm going to write a separate document with all of my new ideas. That way I can pick through them later and see where they fall. A couple chapters back, we had that big death, that massive plot climax happen. Now we need to see everything start to piece them back together. This is not a story with one of my least favorite tropes. One of my least favorite trope is the third act breakup. I hate the third act breakup. Sometimes it's necessary, but not in this story. Instead of a third act breakup, it's just a third act slowdown, put on hold, but everything is still progressing. There is no breakup. There's just a pause. So I need to find a way to build that momentum back up to the end, and I have a couple ideas of how to do that. So that means now I'm going to try to write it all down. So as you can see from the sidebar, I have the manuscript that I'm working on. I have last year's manuscript, which is the first 16 chapters. I have my chapter plans, which is all of them, all the way down to chapter 27, which I think by now we're going to be at least at chapter 29, but I'm in the notes folder. That way I can start my new notes over here. So I'm just going to make a folder, new notes 2023. And then we're going to put as the little title, for the days I did not want to write. Oh my goodness. Okay. So now let's go into the new notes and let's just type. Let's see where these ideas take us. Maybe next time I'm feeling blocked, I'm going to stick with this method of creating notes, because I just wrote 886 words in like half an hour, and I ended up planning the last couple chapters of the book. I'm not 100% done yet, but I planned them. And it turned into me writing the very last scene of the last chapter. And it's so cute. I almost felt like tearing up during it because it's such a heartfelt moment. Everything comes full circle. Now, it's a very fleshed out scene. It's not 100% done, but it is so cute. I started with one idea and thinking about the different plot holes. Basically, the one plot hole was the living situation at the very end of the book. Obviously, they're going to end up together. Where are they going to live? Who knows? So I had this idea in my original notes of where they were going to end up. And I thought, well, in order to tie things up properly, it needs to happen another way. So I started planning that other way, and then inspiration struck, and boom, right as I was writing out the notes, I thought, no, we can do better. And so I started writing out this third idea, and that is what sparked this final scene. I don't know 100% if this is the last line of the book, but I think I wrote at least one of the last paragraphs of the final chapter. Part of me is thinking I want to do an epilogue scene because I do have an idea for an epilogue that would take place maybe a year or two after the story. So we'll see. I'm going to just kind of refresh my notes, fix the spelling mistakes, and then we're going to jump back in. I'm going to continue writing. Also, I realized halfway through that the place in my Scrivener document where I put this New Notes 2023 does not count as part of my manuscript 50,000 words. So I'm just going to move this document into my manuscript so that way it counts towards the 50,000 total. But so far 886 words in 30 minutes. So I am feeling great. I'm on a little bit of a writer's high right now. Let's see if we can get those last 800 and something words done before midnight tonight. So far, so great. I ended up writing more than just the 800 words, and as you can see, it's registering as 0, but we are at 1,013 words. So I need to remedy this and put this in the right section so it actually counts. So we are going to move New Notes 2023 into manuscript. And so now, when we do this, perfect. It pops up. Everything is where it should be. We're getting so close, and I'm so excited about how it's going. 11:31, pretty much cutting it down to the wire, but you guys, we ended today at 2,009 words. I am so happy with the amount that we got done. Not that any of it is going to be usable for the actual book, but you know what? 2,000 words of planning. I'm very happy with that. As you know, let's get these words on the website. So 2009, we are feeling very fine about that. And there we go. There we have it. We're finally seeing a little bit of a spike over there. We're almost 1,000 words above the daily goal. This is great. That little sprint went so well. I was also really concerned midway through because it started thundering and lightning and pouring outside, and I was really hoping I wasn't going to lose power at all and lose the document because that would have made me really sad. But no, everything is saved. Everything is good. We have backed up the project. And we are where we are. So today, let's talk about where I am at. Obviously, I was not in a really great writing mood before. Now I am in such high spirits. This is wonderful. So the second half of the sprint, I ended up finishing what I was working on before, which was basically what was happening in the rest of the book, what I wanted to see, what I wanted to improve. So the way I structured everything was I wrote an in need of section. So here was the plot points that I was in need of. I was in need of certain characters to reach certain goals, certain locations to be dealt with. And then I needed to figure out what was happening with the last chapter or the last 2 chapters. The last thing that I ended up planning was the epilogue. Now, I don't know if the epilogue is actually going to happen in this book. I think I want it to, but I could also just write it into the very last chapter and not have an epilogue. That being said, there is what I plan to be the secret epilogue. So the post story. So the main epilogue would take place a year later. The secret second epilogue would take place about 2 years later. And I think it's really sweet. It really ties everything in together. The reason I'm calling it secret is because I don't plan for it to be with the original book. I plan for it to be a secret chapter, something that gets released either later after the book is maybe published or whatever I do with it, or something that down the line, if I make a website or I do a newsletter or something like that, I would release this chapter as like a bonus gift, kind of like in the Love Hypothesis, how with this guy, they have the additional chapter. That's kind of how I would treat this one, as like a bonus epilogue, just something a little sweet. It definitely wouldn't be more than 2,000 to 3,000 words, but something cute for the very end of the story. Now that that is done, 2,000 words, it just feels so good. Most of the stuff that I wrote is just notes, but I did write a couple of scenes. So I wrote 2 scenes. The first, the proposal scene. I wrote the proposal scene. I did initially write in my original notes a different proposal scene, but this one works better. I'll probably steal some of what I wrote in the original ones in terms of the lines for this new scene, but I just wrote a couple of lines that I think are gonna work so well for the actual proposal. And then the other thing that I wrote is for the first epilogue, there's a little aside between Nate and Mara and a little conversation I want them to have. And I just planned it out and it was perfect. It was like line by line. And again, I could hear the lines coming to me in my head. I could hear the characters saying them. I'm like, I need to write them down right now, otherwise I will forget. So now I have them. They're immortalized in my Scrivener document. And so when I eventually get to that chapter, I'll be able to just copy paste it in and edit it from there. I feel really good about today's writing. I know I've said that a couple of times already, but this is what I needed to get myself back into the writing mode, to try to finish it up. I have 27 chapters of the original plan. Now I've added the 2 additional chapters in there, so 29 chapters. We are on chapter 20, not 100% done yet. That means I have 9 and a little bit chapters left to go before the very end of the book. That's not including the 2 epilogues, so we are at 11 and a bit chapters left to go. I feel very confident that I can finish this book this month. If I work really hard and just continue at it, I can finish it before the end of November. Today gave me hope. I hope I don't have any more days that are like this where I'm so creatively drained. That is going to be it for me today. We have a fun day planned for tomorrow. A lot of surprises happening, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for coming along today. I will see you tomorrow with those surprises, but until then, happy writing. Bye. These are the flowers that I have sitting here. Lots of Gerber daisies. There's a couple roses, some eucalyptus, some lilies in there. Some chrysanthemums, more mums and different things. Very, very pretty.